God doesn't cut his losses. God doesn't write us off as a bad investment. God doesn't shrug and move on and say, oh, well, lost one. No. God searches. God pursues. God lifts us up. God rejoices when we are found. God never lets us go. Ever. Now, if we're honest, most of us probably resonate a little too much with the Pharisees, but what else is new, right? I do too. When Jesus tells these stories to us, these parables, he's talking to you and me right now. So it's this way that we're a lot like the Pharisees. We like the idea of being welcoming. We're a welcoming church. Look, we're welcoming. We're super friendly. Until it's someone who makes us uncomfortable, until it's someone whose struggles don't look like ours, until it's the addict who relapses for the 10th time, or the relative who embarrassed us again, or the neighbor whose politics drives us absolutely crazy and we block them on Facebook. Because I don't need that kind of energy. Somewhere deep down we start to think they're not worth the effort. They're not worth the heartbreak. But not Jesus. He goes after the one every single time. The world doesn't do that, though. The world decides who deserves to live and who dies. The world divides us into teams, preventing us from ever really taking an honest look at ourselves or our role in the mess we're in. The world distracts us with anger, toxic rhetoric that convinces us to forget that lost sheep. Who needs it anyway? The world decides over and over again that hate and violence sometimes is more important than love. Watch the news over and over again. Not Jesus, though. His character will never change. He will never give up on us. He will never stop loving us. And if you've ever been the one, if you've ever wandered so far you thought you'd never find your way back, you know how good this news really is. You know what it feels like when you couldn't take another step, when you couldn't get out of bed, and suddenly you were lifted up and carried. You know the relief of hearing him whisper to you, "You still belong to me. You always did. There's nothing you could do to make me love you any more, and there's nothing you could do to make me love you any less." When you're in the darkest place and someone special is put in your life at exactly the right moment to say the exact right thing at the exact right time to give you hope to go on one more day. We've all experienced it. And that's why heaven rejoices. Because every lost one brought home is proof of God's relentless grace that never runs out. The grace that's universal. The good news that God is not mad at you. He loves you for you. The good and the bad. And even more so, he knows who he created you to become. Who this world needs you to be. Who he's forming you to be in order to do your part to carry forth his kingdom. And I can already hear it. He's saying people can do whatever they want to do, live however they want. And I got news for you guys. Human beings are going to do whatever they want to do anyway. And since we crawled out of a cave, that's what humans have been doing. It takes the divine intervention of Almighty God to bring a person to a place where they become willing to change. That's the whole point. Ask anybody in recovery, anyone who's really experienced a spiritual awakening, anyone who's really experienced like a complete personality change, you know, the kind of change that's required for the obsession to use drugs to be removed. See, those people, you know, they don't get away with anything anymore. The road narrows. Crazier still, they want to do the right thing for the right reason. And they don't want to go back to the hell that they came from. And they were given that gift through the fellowship of others who had gone through it before them and opened their arms wide open and let them in. So this, friends, is what the church is called to be. Not a country club for the 99 that were, smart enough to stay in the herd, but a search party for the one who wandered off. A place that doesn't just tolerate sinners, but celebrates when they walk in the door. And here's the truth. We move back and forth, all of us. Sometimes we're the 99, steady and faithful. Oh, that poor lost sheep. Other times we're the one wandering around in the wilderness, not knowing where we're going. Some days we shine as disciples. Even a halo may begin to appear. Other days we're a lot more like a lost coin, like under the couch, gathering dust. Either way, Jesus never stops searching. He never stops calling. He never stops lifting us up and carrying us home.